This is our 2023 garden. In fact, it's probably the most successful garden that we've ever done together. Denise has done some before and she was successful, but I wasn't a part of it. But this one we did together, and so it was successful. Right here we've got to start some strawberry plants, and if you look right up close here, you can see one little strawberry right in there. And next thing we have is zucchini. And we got this from a neighbor down the street. He gave us some zucchini, and he also gave us what's over here is okra. Look at that okra. Isn't that unusual? Usually I'm used to seeing okra that's green. This stuff is like got some same color as the stalk, like a pinkish purple. But it's good. I mean, it's got that, of course, that sliminess to it that a lot of people don't like about okra. But the seeds in it are bigger, and they're really almost like peas. They're soft and chewy, and they taste really good. And we got some more growing up here, so we should have a good supply of okra. We've already had not too much of it, maybe about 7 or 8 of them, and they're pretty good. And then over here we bought some turmeric from some friends of ours. And there's another one here, second one. Same with the strawberries, we bought them from the same people. And then over here we have transplanted black collard greens, if that makes any sense, but that's what it's called. And our neighbor down the street that gave us the okra and the zucchini gave us these seeds, and I planted them last year. And they didn't come up, well, they came up, they grew a little bit, and then they were kind of didn't do anything throughout the whole winter. And in the spring, they didn't do anything. But then when we got some of this soil here, you see, I don't know if you can read that, but it was given to us. It's soil3.com. It comes in a big, big bag, and one of our neighbors was moving out, and she said, you guys can have it if you want it. So we said, for sure. So we scooped some out of it, put it in the back of our little lawn tractor trailer, and brought it and dumped it over here in a pile. And then after that, well, we brought it over here in our little raised bed garden, and things began to grow that we planted in here, doing quite well. In here we've got some honey nut squash that our friend Grace gave to us. She gave us those seeds maybe a couple years ago, and we finally were able to plant them in here. We also got some more of this black collard in here, and we have a little bit of kale that's mixed in here. That was not supposed to come up, or at least it didn't come up. And then when we put more of this black soil on it, or compost, it started to spring up, so it's kind of mixed in there. We'll see if we can get a little bit of that and eat it. And then of course this here, black collards, is coming up really good. And here we have that honey nut squash, which we've heard so much about, that it's so good, and we're really looking forward to it. It comes, when it grows, it's green, and now it's starting to turn to a point where I guess it's almost ripe. It's supposed to be more yellow. I'm not sure the exact color of it, but there's a little tiny one that's refusing to grow, but it is turning color. And it may end up, that will be our guide. It's getting pretty orange almost. And so that's our little garden for this year. We're looking forward to maybe extending this section right out here to the fence and mixing that compost with some of this garden soil that we bought over here. And we got a little bit more mushroom compost that we can put in there, and a couple bags of Miracle-Gro garden soil. We'll mix that all together, and then we're not sure exactly what we're going to plant in here, but we want to plant something that's going to produce a lot. Maybe some butternut squash, or who knows, carrots. Yeah, carrots. We could plant carrots. We like carrots. So that's our little garden. And this is not Georgia clay or Georgia soil, as you have heard. We use this compost instead, and mixed it with soil that we bought, because this would never grow in Georgia clay. And I have a little video on that shows exactly what that stuff is like, and you can't really grow anything in there. And then over here, the final thing is we've got, guess what that is? Can you guess what that is? Yeah, some of you got it. It's a pineapple plant. We just cut some pineapple tops off and peeled back the, I don't know what you would call them, layers, until we could get some roots, and put it in some water, and then rooted them, and then transplanted them into some dirt. And this one's doing quite well. It always has, but it's not producing anything. This one's not doing too well. One of them died. This one looks like it's starting to come back to life. It was kind of yellowish. And this one's got a little twin growing right next to it there. And of course we got here, some friends of ours gave us this. And this is chocolate mint. And when you rub your fingers on it, it smells just like chocolate and mint. And we haven't had it as tea yet, but apparently it's pretty good. And the last thing that we have as far as growth for food is this fig tree that essentially died at the beginning of the year. And you can see maybe some of the wood that's got no leaves on it there. There's 3 of them that are sticking up. And eventually the other branches started to grow, but we don't see any fruit. Last year this did have fruit. It had fruit last year, but not this year. So that's our little 2023 garden. And what really makes this grow, you probably already know if you're a gardener, the rain that comes over here. When we get rain here in Georgia, at least in this part of Georgia, maybe elsewhere too, but it smells like fish. And so I'm thinking, hey, this stuff has got to be fertilizing the ground as well, because we know that fish is used by some people to fertilize the ground. So ocean water with that fishy smell is really good for the gardens, and we're glad when that rain comes. That's it for this video. We'll have another one with our fall garden coming soon.